Hi guys, as you know, in the last few weeks, definitely the Black Manosphere is seeing lots of victories. Definitely seeing Kevin Samuels grow tremendously. Fresh and Fit are growing quite well. And right after that, you heard about a lot of people saying they're leaving the space. And it's important to understand the context of why they would leave the space after gaining success. One of the important things is the manosphere is not clearly defined, the Black Manosphere. It tends to lump a lot of content creators together who basically are doing completely different things. Right now, I would say what's happening now, and the space is becoming more defined and people are breaking away. And let's understand what I mean by defined. You have the everyday brother entertainment, and that stuff is by normally smaller content creators. You have your shock jocks, definitely the guys that say controversial things, and it's meant to drive clicks and views. Then you have like barbershop talk, and shout out to Edward Anderson. I think he does a lot of that barbershop talk. Behind the scenes baseball. What's going on, all of that stuff. Then you definitely will have the beefs. People beefing with each other, nonsensical stuff, right? And that type of entertainment is kind of like on the low level, because those guys are not going to get a lot of money from what they're doing, and they're not going to draw big audiences, and that will be a crowded feel. So that will be entertainment for the everyday brother. Then you have crossover infotainment, and that's basically, I would put Abba and Preach, I'd put Fresh and Fit. I kind of see Saint and the Sinner kind of trying to do that too, but these guys are normally trying to get panels together. Abba and Preach are just great at what they do in terms of, they have a nice studio setup, and I think they cover the issues quite well. They have the right balance, and that crossover infotainment sector, a lot of times people have said, are they manosphere, are they not manosphere? But they're clearly defining themselves. Then you have that little space that I see Kevin Samuels holding, which reminds me so much of Dr. Phil. It's kind of like that advice, giving advice. And I know the everyday brothers don't like it, but he's like the godfather of this all. He has gotten tremendously large. A lot of Black women empowerment, our BWE content creators says women should stop going on this show, all that stuff. But what they are not seeing is, the very thing that they talk about, 70% of homes are fatherless and all of that stuff. Obviously, women and a lot of men want to hear a male voice, because, the 30% that are growing up in these homes with fathers, they may listen to a different perspective, but they always heard their father's, perspective. The 70% don't have that father perspective, and they're looking for that father perspective. And here's a man in a suit, well-spoken, and he's not trying to get them into bed, so they're listening to him, what his opinion is. And I don't agree with his opinion many times, but I do think that I do see a lot of nuggets of truth. I mean, I just watched one recently of a woman saying she left a 10-year relationship with someone, and the reason was because of sex. And he said, listen, this is nonsense, all of that stuff. Why would you do that? That's such a minor part. And those are things I listen to and say, you know what? This guy actually has some good nuggets in what he's saying, because he's trying to tell her that happiness is not the most important thing in a relationship. It's about hard work, it's building together, all that. And those of us in a relationship understand that happiness is not the biggest thing. The biggest thing is that you get a sense of accomplishment working together and building together, and you connect families together when you are married, and you can't discount that. So Kevin Samuels has that role onto himself, and that's a special spot. If he grows any bigger, then definitely he's getting into the Steve Harvey territory, which could happen. And then you have the celeb news. Now, O'Shea Duke Jackson owns that space in the Black Manosphere, and he puts his spin on it, his own Black Manosphere spin on the news. But he is pumping out videos. The qualities are high, it's very high quality, all of that. I can see why he would want to move away from the everyday brothers and the beef and all of that stuff. It's nonsensical. It's juvenile. It's sophomoric. And then you have the self-improvement spaces. Now, these spaces will never grow. And one of the reasons why they'll never grow is people come to YouTube for entertainment, or they come for specific information. Now, if I want to set up my phone, or I want to factory reset it, I can go to a video and find that video to that. That's ad hoc. That's irregular. I won't come back every day to look at someone, showing me how to open the back of a phone, right? Self-improvement, that space, I think, over time it's there. People will look at it, but that won't be the big thing. I definitely see the other four sectors, the everyday brother sector, the crossover, that Dr. Phil / Kevin Samuels, and the celeb news as those big spaces, because as time goes on, that's what people will keep coming back, for. And this is a business for many of these content creators, and they will continue to grow. A lot of times I think, though, that with the everyday brother space, that is like the entrance point for many people, and I think they will graduate either into crossover or celeb stuff, later on, but that's the entrance point. And the manosphere is growing, and it's growing because you have newer content creators coming up with different perspectives, and everyone is saying, oh, the death of the manosphere, it's nonsense. It's like a snake shedding its skin, and 2.0, manosphere, Black Manosphere 2.0, you get to 3.0, and what will happen, it will keep growing, and it will keep growing because it's a place where black men can go to, and with the crossover sector, other men of other races can go to share ideas and to go through, thinking, the thought process. And one of the good things is that it's done in the open, so it's openly challenged. So when people come up with weird ideas, it's challenged, and if you can't really defend a talking point, then it will be trashed in no time. So love to see the growth of it, because as we said, the good thing is out in the open, people can hear it, people can challenge it, but it's a way in which men can get their voices heard and can, trade ideas. Very good. As we said, with a community with 70% of young men not being in a two-parent household, they are at a disadvantage. They grow up, and it's only the mother's instruction they can hear. Then they get older, and it's some young punk on the street telling them, what life is about, right? Now they have an alternate voice, and, they can choose to listen to the guys who are more accomplished, the guys who are looking to build, or they can listen to the same, nonsense that the street dudes are telling them. But the difference is that what the street guys are saying is being challenged, and they're good street guys and they're bad street guys, and the good street guys, what they're saying is being reinforced. As long as that keeps happening, the manosphere is doing its job. It's helping the next generation of men to figure out that they need to gather resources, they need to have good character, they need to work hard, and hopefully later on they understand also that they need to build strong relationships, a strong relationship with a woman, and build a family, because that is one of the key building blocks of a community. So we'll see this grow, we'll see this continue, much to the chagrin of some people who say, hey, they're waiting for the demise of the manosphere. But that will never happen, because once you have an internet and you have men and they have common interests, they will find a way to meet. YouTube is the meeting point right now. I mean, we know that there are other groups who are meeting in other web pages which is not that open, and those are the ones that you should be concerned about. What's being said on YouTube is open. You can challenge it, you can flag it, if it's outside of community guidelines. That's where you want it, out in the open, so you can see the discussion evolve and also participate in it. So just a quick coverage of this. Thanks, guys.